In mid-November, I shouted, "Oh, shoot you, oh, the joy." In 1806, we got back to our starting point, St. Louis. Many people call me a true friend and a devoted family man. I had 10 children with 2 wives. In 1838, I died of cardiac arrest. Thank you.
My name is Meriwether Lewis. I was born on August 18th, 1774 on my parents' plantation near Nashville. My parents were Lucy Meriwether and William Lewis. My father died at a young age in my life, so my mother quickly remarried to John Marks. I was homeschooled until the age of 13 when I went to Albemarle Classical School. I then went to the school of Reverend James Waddell, who I graduated from. In 1803, I received further education in preparation for the expedition. In 1804, the expedition really began. The expedition spanned 2 years and 3,000 miles. Me, my friend William Clark, a native named Sacagawea, and my team set off. Along the way, we discovered hundreds of specimens, including the prairie dog and the grizzly bear. Upon my return, I received double pay and 1,600 acres of land. I had no family, so I died lonely. I died on October 11th, 1809. In 1848, Tennessee erected my grave marker. In 1925, my very grave became the Meriwether Lewis National Monument. To this day, no one knows how I died. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sacagawea. I was born in May 1788 in the state of Idaho. I was born in a Shoshone tribe. When I was older, my tribe was raided, then I was kidnapped to marry a man named Toussaint. After that, I had a child named Jean. I was taken on an expedition with Lewis and Clark. On that expedition, many people got sick, so I had to help them. On the expedition, I was able to talk to a Shoshone tribe to get horses. The chief of the Shoshone tribe was my brother Camaway. After that, I had 2 kids, Lizette and Jean. My cause of death was peachy fever, and after I died, Clark adopted 2 of my kids. Thank you.
Howdy, I'm William F. Cody, also known as Buffalo Bill. I was born in 1846 in LeClaire, Iowa. I left home at an early age to herd cattle and drive a wagon train. I crossed the Great Plains many times, killing 4,280 buffalo. I started scouting for the Army, and that's where I got my well-known name, Buffalo Bill. When I was 26, I started as a stage performer. The first show I was in was called Scouts of the Prairie. There is a man in the show named Ned Butlin. Butlin made me famous by making me the star of his novels. I made a show called The Wild West after Scouts of the Prairie. My sharpshooter was Annie Oakley, and she brought many people to my shows. I died in Denver in 1917 while visiting my sister. After I died, a museum was made that had 5 museums in one. The museum's names were Buffalo Bill, Cody Firearms, Plains Indians, Whitney Western Art, and Draper National History Museum. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Annie Oakley. I was born in 1860 in Dark County, Ohio. I grew up catching small birds and animals for food for my family. When I was only 7 years old, I used my first gun. I grew up to be a sharpshooter and entertainer, performing in many traveling wild west shows. Buffalo Bill gave me one of my shotguns. I was a very talented sharpshooter. I even performed for Queen Victoria. Once, I outgunned a professional sharpshooter, 25 shots out of 25 attempts. He missed one of his. Soon, we got married. We never had any of our own kids, but we cared for our nieces and nephews. I died in 1926 in Greensville, Ohio. After my death, many movies and even the musical Annie Get Your Gun were written about me. I showed that women could do anything as good as men can. Thank you.
Hello, I am Hammurabi. I was born in 1810 BCE. Not much was known about my youth until when I turned 18 and my father died. At the time I was king, Babylonia was just a small city-state surrounded by large countries like Assyria. So I was forced to sign many peace treaties in order to ensure the safety of my city. Many years and wars later, I ruled all of Mesopotamia under the name of Babylonia. I created a set of almost 300 laws that introduced the idea of innocent until proven guilty, and one of my laws was an eye for an eye. Another one of my laws was if a builder builds a house and it falls on someone, then the builder shall be sentenced to death. I was succeeded by my son, Samsu-Iluna, in 1750 BC when I died. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sanjay Takeda, and I was a legendary king and ruler of Mali. I started ruling Mali in 1230. As a young man, I was crippled and unable to walk, but later regained my strength, defeating my enemies. My father is a king, and my mother is a sorceress. Today, I'm celebrated as a symbol throughout West Africa and Mali as a symbol of peace and perseverance. I created a new capital in Nyana. Since many merchants were Muslim, I decided to learn about the language, the religion, and do many practices while still supporting non-Muslims. Many people mourned my death in 1255. Thank you.
I, Mansa Musa, was born in 1312 in the Mali Empire. I spoke the Arabic language and followed the Muslim religion. Most of my education came from the Muslim religion Islam. One of my famous accomplishments was my pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324. 60,000 people came with me, and 12,000 of them were slaves. I did this in the grandest Malian style. I gave away 20,000 ounces of gold on Friday, which was Islam's holy day. I had only one sibling who was the Mansa of the Mali Empire with me. I died in 1337 at the age of 57. I died because of an illness I got on my journey. After my death in 1337, my son took over the Mali Empire and then died 4 years after my death in 1341. I had reigned for 25 years. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Queen Mary I, also known as Bloody Mary. I was born in Redwoods Palace, February 17, 1516. I was more like my father, King Henry VIII, than my mother, Queen Catherine of Aragon. I had a sister named Elizabeth I, and she was my only sibling, until my brother Edward VI came along. Since he was a boy, he was first in line for the throne. Sadly, when he reached the age of 7, he died. After my brother died, I got married to King Philip II, and my dad executed my mother to make sure I would never see her again. I got very angered by this, and I killed many people who weren't a devoted Christian like me. After I died at the age 42 from cysts. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Queen Elizabeth, and I was born September 7th, 1533. I did not have a good childhood since my father, Henry VIII, wanted a boy and not a girl to rule the throne. My brother, Edward, was first to the throne, even though he wasn't firstborn. Then, in my middle years, Edward died, and my sister Mary became queen. In 1558, Mary died, and I became queen. I did something called religious freedom, which is allowing people to believe in whatever they want to believe freely. There was also a period of time called the Elizabethan era, which was just the period of time where I ruled as queen. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Catherine the Great. I was born in 1829 in what is now Poland. When I was 14, my mother made an arranged marriage for me and Peter III of Russia. We got married in 1745. In 1762, Peter became Emperor of Russia. However, I was on the side that didn't support him, so I brought him to court. He was later put in jail and was assassinated 8 days later. I became Empress of Russia in 1762. I helped Prussia and Austria come up with a solution when they were at war, and I built a port at the Black Sea. I was also very passionate about collecting different pieces of art. However, in 1798, I died due to a stroke. My successor was my son, Paul I. Thank you.
I am Queen Boudicca of the Iceni tribe. I was born 30 AD in southeast England into a group of British Celts called the Iceni. My teachers and parents taught me to be a warrior when I was a kid. In 48 AD, I married King Prasutagus of the Iceni tribe. He paid the Roman Emperor Nero to let us live as an independent ally of Rome. As soon as Prasutagus died, Rome took over. We tried to rebel many times, but Rome stopped us. To stop us, Roman warriors would whip and assault me in front of my own people. After being put in our places over and over again, we chose to attack. I started with the city Colchester, then attacked London, and later St. Albans. Finally, we met Rome face to face in a semi-narrow area where they had the advantage. We had them outnumbered, but they had better tactics. After the war, we had lost 20,000 people, while Rome only lost 400. They had beat us. Out of guilt, I took poison and took my own life. My burial place is unknown, but there is a myth that I'm buried between platforms 9 and 10 of King's Cross Station. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Daphne, the daughter of the river god Anina. I'm the goddess of fountains, streams, brooks, and wells, and other forms of fresh water. I'm also known as a great tree spirit. My myth starts with me having a admirer named Apollo. Apollo was the god of hunting, poetry, and music. Apollo became an admirer because he got caught mocking Cupid's archery skills, making Cupid want revenge. Cupid's revenge was striking Apollo with the arrow that made him fall in love with me, and Cupid striking me with the arrow that made me dislike all things romantic. While Apollo was hunting, he saw me and chased me. While I was being chased by Apollo, I turned to a lower evergreen tree. When I completely transformed, Apollo cried and sang to me for days. For Apollo to show his love for me, he made a headpiece out of my branches. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Aries. I am the goddess of chaos and discord, as well as the daughter of Zeus and Hera. I played a major role in the Trojan War because I was the one who had started. I started the war by dropping the golden apple, which had 4 of the fairest engraved on it. Soon, the 3 goddesses, Athena, Hera, and Aphrodite, had found the apple and began to fight over who would get it. There are 2 myths from where I got the apple. One of them says that I stole the apple from Zeus to get revenge for not being invited to the wedding. Another myth states that Zeus gave me the apple because he thought that Greece was overpopulated and it was the perfect time to start a war. Thank you.
May 27, 1818, Homer, New York. Growing up, I didn't have much money, and I only had a few years of education at a local district school. I had lived in Cortland County, New York, before moving to Iowa in 1852 with my family. I would go on to edit the Lily from 1849 to 1853. It was the first newspaper for women. I also encouraged women to wear more comfortable clothing after seeing the hazards of corsets, and because of this, I took the comfortable pants to be worn under a shirt or hook bloomers after me. I was one of the women that attended the convention in Seneca Falls, New York for women's rights. I never had any children of my own, but I did adopt 2 children with my husband, Dexter Bloomer. I died on December 30th, 1894, and I was buried at Fairview Cemetery. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dorothea Dix, and I was born on April 2nd, 1802, Hampton, Maine. And at the age of 14, I started my first school. I became ill several times and went to Europe by sea. There, I saw a bunch of reformers trying to change how the mentally ill were treated. When I came back to the United States, I looked for mental hospitals. I created asylums in Illinois, New Jersey, and North Carolina. I worked to pass federal legislations to make a natural asylum, but the bill did not pass. When the Civil War started, I dedicated myself to the Union cause and was the superintendent of a group called Army Nurses for the Union Army. I was known for treating Confederate and Union soldiers. I pushed for female nurses to join and appointed 3,000 female nurses. Later, I stepped down from my position and someone took my place. I died on July 17, 1887, Cambridge, Massachusetts. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Charles Drew. I was born June 3, 1904. My sister died of tuberculosis, which is a serious bacterial disease that mainly affects the lungs. At that moment, I thought of becoming a doctor, but due to racial discrimination, it was very challenging for African Americans to become doctors at the time. I got into Amherst College in 1926 and 1928. I got into a medical school in Canada. I set the first blood bank in New York City. And during World War II, I sent blood transfusions to the wounded soldiers. Soon, the Army wanted to segregate the blood donations, so I left the American Red Cross and taught at Howard University. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People gave me a special award. I married Winnie Lenore Robbins and had 4 children. I died in a car crash in 1950. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jeanne d'Arc, also known as Joan of Arc. I was born in 1412 in Domremy, France. My father was a farmer and I helped him in the farms. When I was 12 years old, I had a vision of God and he told me to lead the French army. When I turned 16, I went to the town officials to set up a meeting with King Charles. In 1429, King Charles allowed me to fight with his army. So during the 100 Years' War, me and the French army had defeated the English and led them out of the Orleans. After the war, the English thought I was a witch. So in 1430, they captured me and had accused me of rejecting the religion. In 1431, when I was just 19, they burned me alive. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ferdinand Magellan, and I was born on February 4, 1480 in the town of Sabrosa, Portugal. As a child, I grew up serving as a page to Queen Leonor in her court. After that, I joined the Portuguese fleet, headed to India to fight the Arabs in the trade war. I retired when I was wounded and spent a month in the hospital. I started thinking of finding the Spice Islands by going west instead of east. When I brought my ideas to King Manuel of Portugal, he said no. But King Charles I of Spain said yes. The journey was 18 months and we had to face storms, diseases, and shortage of food. I died on April 27, 1521 in the island of Mactan, Philippines, when we were attacked by Filipino natives led by Chieftain Lapu-Lapu. My family couldn't continue my work. They were my wife, Maria Caldera Beatriz Barbosa, and my 2 children named Carlos and Rodrigo. They all died sadly, but my crew was able to finish the work, and they were the first ones to circumnavigate the world. Thank you.
a merchant in the cloth trade, but before he became a merchant, he worked in the towns in which created coins. My education consisted of reading, learning arithmetic, and being a fluent speaker of Latin. After my education, I moved to Strasbourg, France, and this is where I got my idea for one of the greatest inventions of all time, the movable printing press. The movable printing press helped with many others by recreating books almost 1,000 times faster. The first ever book I printed, though, was the Bible, because I learned the Christian religion. I also forgot to put my names in the books, so instead Jonathan Fuss put his names in the book, so he made all my money. I moved back to Maine, Germany, where I tried to set up a new printing workshop, but I didn't have money. So I used money from Jonathan Fuss to set up that new printing workshop. As for my later years, I never had children, but I did get married. No one knows how I died, and I was buried as a tertiary in the Franciscan Church. Thank you.